Hi, I'm Jason Impey and I'm an independent filmmaker and also a big movie collector who started out on VHS back in the day. Back when I was 5 years old, I started collecting VHS, and it's a format which I have a lot of fond memories of because it was it was the first format I collected movies on and watched films on, and I used to spend all my pocket money on them. And what I also used to do was tape horror films off the TV at night without anyone knowing, and obviously was able to watch them again later in the next day. What I did is I had a VCR in my bedroom, and obviously I've always been a bit of a technical geek, and I sussed out how to hook the VCR up and set the timer on it so it would record stuff like the original Dawn of the Dead and Halloween and these sort of films when I was pretty young. And some of these films and what influenced me to become a filmmaker later in life. So it's a very cool format. It's nostalgic to me, basically. When I see VHS, it does remind me of my childhood, and it also it brings a bit of passion to life that I had. I've always got passion for filmmaking, but looking at VHS always reminds me of that passion and what got me into film in the first place. My first VHS memory would be the first film I ever got was GoBot's Battle of the Rock Lords, and I saw this film at the cinema, and I was only 5 years old, and that is when I started collecting video. And my granddad, Bill, who used to have an enormous video collection, which he left me in his will, and I have all of them all boxed up and archived. He particularly liked westerns and John Wayne and Clint Eastwood films, but he used to get a bonus at work, and when he got a bonus he would treat me. So my big treat was this VHS that had just come out, which was like 20 quid at the time. They were extortionate money. I remember some of the RRP prices were like $74.99 for like Dirty Dancing and the original releases of videos when they come out. Absolutely outrageous. But so when I used to get pocket money in a treat, as I've said, I used to go straight down the shop. We had Sam Goody's, Playhouse. These were some of the VHS shops around me, which are all non-existent now. They don't even sell DVDs. They're totally packed up shop. But I used to also collect manga VHS. So I used to collect all the Gaibas. So I'd get the first episode, then the second episode, and so forth. So I was a VHS hunter. I used to go to the market. I live in Milton Keynes, and we have a market every Saturday, and I used to go down there and hunt through. And also, I used to get taken to the car boots a lot. Now the car boots were great because my grandparents used to take me on Sunday morning, and I don't think they were a bit naive about the ratings and what I could and shouldn't be watching. So I knew what I was looking for. I was finding things like House, House 2, House 3, completing the collection of the House movies, and I'd find them in the car boot, say to my granddad I want to spend money on that, give him them, and he'd buy them for me. So I was getting these kind of adult rated movies at a young age. So my collection was pretty big at quite a young age, and everyone's always commented on my VHS collection when I was growing up, because for a kid I had quite a obscure amount of videos and some very obscure titles. My dad used to be a member of Ritz Video Club, which became Blockbuster, which again is no more, and it cost him quite a bit of money to be a member there, but he used to rent stuff out. I used to try and nudge him to rent horror films out. I do remember getting him to rent Howling 5 out, and I was watching it and loved it. He was a bit... My mum walked in and weren't over impressed, and they had to get switched off, and I was trying to watch it through the door because she didn't think it was appropriate. And it was actually quite atmospheric. It was quite scary at the time. I was pretty young, but I've always liked the Howling films, and I suppose Howling 5 was actually one of the first Howlings I saw, and then I went back and rediscovered the rest of them on VHS. Actually, hunted the first lot down on VHS through going to trips to the markets, and again HMV came about, and there was Walrus as well that used to do videos back in the day. They used to actually have an alright collection, and WH Smith. There was a lot of shops that sold films around me back in the day, and it's got harder now to get films than it was back then, but there used to be some great ones like hospital charity shops, and wherever I went, like, you'd find like the little Goodwill and charity shops. Even when we was visiting someone at the hospital, they used to have like videos for sale in the cafeteria, and they used to be like bargains, like literally not even a couple of quid. Sometimes it was like pence, and I used to pick up some real cool titles. So what I did love is it was really a buzz going around hunting for films. Now you can just go online, Google, get any website up, get anything delivered straight to your door. That when I was younger, before like really internet shopping and all this, it was quite a buzz going out and about trying to hunt down a video. You'd get really excited if you found something that was really rare or obscure. And it was always really cool to find something that they shouldn't have. Like on market stalls, they might have like a video nasty knocking about or a preset or something that weren't quite, you knew shouldn't be there. Or obviously pirates, dodgy bootlegs. I've had a few of them over the years, but I have a lot of fond memories of coming home from school for the weekend, sitting up in the bedroom at night, late at night, watching films on my VCR, and they were good times, and all of it kind of inspiring me to want to go and make films. My favourite schlock video, right? I have a great knockoff videos. So as I was getting a bit older, I discovered more and more video nasties and obscure titles, and the video nasties back when I was a kid were still obviously were banned and outlawed in the UK, and they weren't. A few were released, like Evil Dead, which were cut. They've got re-released cut versions, but there was still a hell of a lot of the video nasties that didn't even have an edited version or anything available. So I went on a quest to, I wanted to see films like Cannibal Ferox and Cannibal Holocaust and New York Ripper and Fulci films, Argento movies, Umberto Lenz's, Ruggiero Deodato's and all these sort of films. I wanted to see them. So when I started college, my mate had managed to get some videos by answering a carefully placed magazine, an advert in a movie traders magazine, carefully worded advert about how you could get 2 films on long play on a VHS, and he had a double bill of Cannibal Ferox and Cannibal Holocaust. Cannibal Holocaust complete with Japanese subtitles and all. Really like 5th gen quality copy, but watchable. And he also had another one with New York Ripper and The Beyond on, and these were all uncut prints of the film, all uncut versions. And he lent me them, and Cannibal Ferox was my first real taste, an uncut, full-on video nasty, and it got me hooked on Italian cannibal and zombie films actually, and then the New York Ripper was just, I loved it. It was one of my all-time favourite films when I saw that. And a funny story is I didn't actually quite know how bad it was going to be, and I was quite young, and my nan was around, and I was a bit naive, and I stuck it in the VCR and said to my nan I want to watch this film, and she was just sitting there chilling out, and it come on, and yeah, if you've seen a New York Ripper uncut as well, that was a bit of a traumatising experience for my nan. She thought it was a bit much, but she sat and watched it and thought it was alright. But also I had Cannibal Ferox in my car because I'd borrowed, not my car, my dad's car. So my dad had picked me up from college. I'd borrowed this film, and he knew I had a lot of movies and always had stuff on me. And he had a new partner at the time, and he took me over to see her with him. He hadn't long been with her actually, and they said, "Oh, let's watch a film." And he nudged me, going, "Oh, haven't you got a video in the car?" And I tried to say, "No, you don't really want to watch that." But anyway, I was like peer pressured into putting this video on. And so my dad sat there with me and watched Cannibal Ferox uncut with his new partner, with complete with all animal cruelty scenes intact and everything. And yeah, let's just say that was quite a silent room, and I was told that I was a bit much and maybe not to bring those ones around in the future. Good first impressions and all. And so I then also wanted to see more, so I managed to track down one of these bootleg knockoff videos, like another double feature on a long play video, and this was Anthropophagus the Beast and Absurd, a really cool double bill. And I managed to get that posted to the house and paid for in a crap Scotch cardboard sleeve, handwritten label, like real piece of crap. But the quality was watchable, and obviously I'd been gagging to see these films. I'd been reading so much about them, hearing so much about them, and the ending of Anthropophagus was quite infamous to me from all what I'd been like researching about it. So to finally have it and to be able to watch it was very exciting. That took a bit of pride and joy, even though it was such a bad boot. And then I also went on the hunt for many others my granddad had a drawer, a special drawer at his house where he had a lot of videos. He had a room with cabinets full of VHS, but he had this drawer in the dining room where he'd put the real dodgy video nasties that were obviously way too much, such as The Evil Dead was in there. Me being a bit of a nosy little brat of a child, I knew he had some videos in this drawer, so I secretly removed Evil Dead at one time when I was looking, took it home on the sly, got it, and then I had a hole in my bed which I used to keep stuff that I would stash, so such as like things I shouldn't have, like videos, video nasties. So I shoved this video in the bed, watched it in the evenings when everyone was asleep in my room, and then I returned it without anyone even noticing it had gone. So I saw Evil Dead, was blown away by it. I mean, I actually loved that. That was one of my favourite exploitation video nasty films. And I also then did the same thing to my dad, who had Hellraiser, and that's how I saw the first Hellraiser and so forth. But then obviously, as I said, I managed to tape the original Halloween, the original Dawn of the Dead, and then there was taped versions knocking about of Poltergeist 1, 2 and 3, the trilogy, and stuff like this. Channel 4 was wicked. Channel 4 used to play some great films such as Redneck Zombies, like a classic SOV film. Managed to tape that, although that was cut, that version, but still, being able to see these films in the UK in the 90s, mid 90s, was pretty special, because it wasn't easy otherwise. It was kind of who you knew. I was lucky that I found a few mates later in my in my teen years that shared that passion and had access to some of these films. So fortunately, yes. Tips for shooting an SOV film, because me personally, I've shot quite a number of feature films and short films, and quite a few in the style of SOV. In fact, I was so inspired by the German SOV film Violent Shit, which again I obsessed over seeing for years and managed to get a copy. In fact, I was amazed that I managed to get a copy of Violent Shit 2 with English subtitles on VHS for like less than £4. I don't know how I did that. It was on eBay, it was on an auction website, and no one seemed to have noticed it, and I grabbed it so much, and literally when it arrived, I had someone messaging me trying to put an offer in because they saw that I'd purchased it. They tracked me down, but no, I've got that. That's with my Video Nasties safe. That's one of my favourite videos that I own, because it's such a rare classic gem. But going back to my film, so I made a feature called Sick Bastard, which is I say like the English version of Violent Shit. I wished it was more extreme, but I was younger and I was finding my feet as a filmmaker. But what I did do is I specifically brought a VHS camera to shoot it on VHS, to just give it that look. I didn't want to rely on post-production. I wanted this to look like a proper throwback SOV movie, so I actually shot it on VHS. It was a nightmare to then edit it from that, but I managed to do it. And tips, I would say try and do a short before feature, so you don't run before you can walk, just so you can find your feet. But I would just say have fun with it, experiment, play about. To make a fun SOV film, you want a bit of cheese in there, you want a bit of dark humour, you want to try and throw a lot of gore, but if the gore effects look a bit crap, that just adds to the fun and the rawness and the cheesiness of it, and it gives it that extra kind of cult feel. So I think just try and have fun though. Don't get too stressed out. Don't, if things go wrong, don't let it dishearten you. Just keep trying. Just try and remain positive, because making films can be very hard work, and it's got me into quite a depressive state in the past on some of the bigger shoots. But you've just got to remember why you're doing it. Remember the passion. Remember what gets you to the point of wanting to make a film. Try not to have that flame blown out. Just try and be positive and have fun, and it's nice to surround yourself, or if you've got people helping you make the film who share that same passion or are into it. I would say just be careful who you work with, because there are some bad seeds out there, and just try and choose wisely who you participate with projects with. But I certainly just try and promote, if you want to do it, have a go. Certainly, really, I encourage people to just go and make an SOV film and have fun with it. And there's no right or wrong way of making a film. Film is an art form, so if you want to make it a certain way, you want to make it a certain way for whatever reason. You can't really be told you're wrong. some things look better than others, but just play about with it, make it your own, find your own style, and just, you know, work with your own style. Don't try too hard to imitate or copy someone else, because you know, you'll find your own feet once you start playing about with stuff. My film Sick Bastard is the favourite film that I've made, SOV wise, and I've even got a VHS copy of it, which I love. It takes pride in my special unit. But my other favourite SOV film, I would say, I've got such fond memories of Redneck Zombies, like discovering it, taping it off TV, having that bootleg VHS and watching it that way, and then down the line I've got a better version now and an uncut version, but I love Redneck Zombies so much. It's a real true SOV film. It's one of my favourites. It's, you know, full of great cheesy fun gore, and it's just, the rawness is just, I find it such a fun watch. You know, it's funny, it's gory, it ticks all the boxes which makes a good SOV film. It's really entertaining. I could watch it a lot of times and not get bored of it. It's not a boring film at all. It's very well flowed, and it's just really a cult classic to me. It's a mini SOV masterpiece, that film. So my experiences of shooting SOV films are good and some bad. I've had police turn up on sets because of being accused by members of the public walking past of hurting people, doing dodgy things. It's always annoying when the police come down. Such would they've always been alright, but it is a bit scary sometimes if you've got dodgy props on set. It's inconvenient, it slows your shooting down, but you know, looking back, they're quite funny stories, but at the time they panicked me. I've dealt with some divas. I shan't really name any, but there's been some real divas, both in front and behind the camera on some of my films, which have been a pain, caused me hassle, but, you know, it's, I think it's because they don't fully, their heart and soul wasn't quite in it as much as mine was, because obviously it's my project. But positive, they've been a lot of fun to make. I've met some good people on the journey of making films, and I've made some good friendships which remain to this day. A lot of making films have been my social life. Seeing people, going out with people, having something to eat and drink has all been through making a film. Outside of filmmaking, I don't have much of a social life because the amount of work involved and the hours and night shoots and editing and deadlines, it does leave me a little bit of a unsociable person at times, but then I do get to socialise going down onto film sets, and at least it's also with people that share a common ground, the same interests. So most of the conversation evolves around films and filmmaking, which, you know, if you love it as much as the people I know and me, then it doesn't get boring. It's exciting to find someone who shares the same passion and is into it as well. So I've got a lot of fond memories of my early days of filmmaking, and still in recent days me carrying on filmmaking. There's been some really good shoots. I look back at my old films, and yeah, I get a bit nervous thinking I'm a bit ropey, something a bit crap, but I can see where I've progressed. I can personally see my progression, and I've definitely found my feet in style, and I've experimented. I've got a lot on my system. I've had a go at kind of everything when it comes to filmmaking. I really have tried a lot. I'm really pleased I've pushed myself and tried all kind of avenues and ventures of filmmaking. But I'm quite content now. I know what I'm about. I know where I want to be, and I've got my head kind of sorted out. It took a long time as a filmmaker to find exactly my goals, but I'm there. It's I think filmmakers are complex individuals. I certainly am. But I'm happy with where I'm going as a filmmaker, and I am very happy with my backlog of work. I've never personally owned a Betamax player because my family always chose VHS over Betamax. They made the right, wise choice. So I've never actually had access to a Betamax player, but I prefer video. I've looked at Betamax and I've seen it, and I technically know, and I know VHS is the format anyway. So I'm happy to stuck by VHS. My collection is in the hundreds, probably going towards, well, just many hundreds of videos. It is hundreds, but I have slowed down on buying videos quite a lot. I buy the odd one. I was collecting the presets, but again, if you're not careful, you can spend a small fortune on these films, on these videos and stuff, and you have got to be careful. There's a few people selling knockoffs and boots and mouldy tapes, and it's a bit of a gamble actually. I do like VHS collecting, but they take up a lot of space. Unlike DVDs and Blu-rays, which some of these here, theirs are quite easy. A video is a great big fat chunky thing, and it's become a space issue because I've got so many, and it's getting harder. I say some of the charity shops near me have stopped selling them. In fact, quite a few places around me have stopped selling them. So it's like it is dying. It's a shame. Although there is a bit of a comeback because I have bought some new films on VHS. Like I've got VHS 2, VHS edition, and a few other new movies that have been put on limited VHS runs, which I do grab because I say it does bring back great memories, and it's just, I love retro stuff. It is really cool to hold a videotape in your hand like in this day and age, going, wow, that's cool. So I do look out for them, but I do also like my DVD and Blu-rays, especially my Blu-rays, and yeah, I spend so much on films, it's crazy, and I wished I had more money to burn on them, but you know. So I use the internet now to pick up videos, really. eBay is probably the main source, but the other year I was in the hospital and they did have loads of VHSs by the cafe in the charity shop, which amazed me. And I went over there and started browsing, thinking, oh, not expecting much, but for like 25p I found Gate 2, which I'd never had a copy of that film, and it was actually, at the time, it's quite hard to get, and it was the hard box ex-rental version, and it was in really good condition, and I was like, result. So how could I say no for 25p to that? So I do keep my eye out, and the odd bargain does pop up. And as I said, I had a total steal on Violent Shit 2 on a VHS from eBay. So now and again, there is a real bargain to be had out there. But you just do it. You have to look out for them. And if you monitor, look for titles all the time, you come across them. So I'm not sure what the future for VHS is. I know that it's popular in the niche market, but it is still quite a niche market. And I'm not a big fan of digital, but film is moving over that way. I like to have a physical product, and although video is nice, it is still very limited films that are being put on it, and I think it'll always knock about in this generation of collectors, but I do think, unfortunately, I do feel, you know, in a generation or so's time it will be totally obsolete. I know a young generation now who don't even understand what video is and the concept, or they, you know, talk to younger people now and they are lost about it. They just can't get their head around it. So it is, to me, it is dying out, and it's definitely something that a certain age group is above collecting. It's a shame, but I don't feel like it's got much of a future past us. But as for SOV films, I think there's always going to be filmmakers inspired by the old SOV films who want to do that. Unfortunately, again, film's dying. I loved shooting on Super 8 and VHS, but the VHS equipment's becoming more specialised, or if it's old knocked off stuff, it's normally battered and broke, so it's not ideal shooting on that. And then like film and Super 8 is so much money to buy the film and get it developed and process it and get it transferred for a digital editing now. It's just easier to shoot on a digital format, but obviously, you know, SOV shot on video, digital video works. I mean, there's a lot of people putting a lot of effort in post-production to make it look like that. I mean, there is apps. This new technology is good. The apps are new technology to film in VHS style. I think the style of filmmaking will always be there, and I'm looking forward to a new generation of filmmakers that will experiment and put a different take on it. So I think the future's exciting and positive for SOV filmmaking, not so much for VHS collecting, but SOV filmmaking definitely. I think there'll always be a group of rogue, rebellious filmmakers out there making exploitation and grind out stuff. I really do, and I think it's an exciting time of filmmaking we live in. It's easier than ever to make a film now. Like technology is a lot more accessible. It's a lot easier to shoot stuff and even get it released with the internet. So there's pros and cons. So there's definitely positives about the new way of filmmaking. So as I say, I buy VHS a bit, but I collect DVD and Blu-ray. If I can get it on Blu-ray, I will get it on Blu-ray, and then DVD is my second option. And then I say VHS is a kind of, it's an elaborate version to have. I mean, I will, if they do a special set with a VHS and other versions, I will grab it. And I personally have brought some new films on VHS just to have. If I like the film, I'll buy it to have that version of it. It might come with a Archival or something exclusive. It's really cool if they do something exclusive to have that version as well, because I'll buy the same film a few times to get different edits and versions. I'm a sucker for it. But I love new Blu-ray releases, especially stuff from like Arrow Video and 88 Films and some of these indie labels and specialist labels. They put in some great editions out. I'm a big fan of these new transfers, seeing these classic films I grew up on VHS. I grew up watching these films on VHS in a gritty, raw way, which was fantastic. I loved it. It's really good memories, but it's also really nice to see them again on this. It's really nice to see them so crisp and clean, and I can enjoy them again for watching them for the first time again. So I'll always collect movies. I've been collecting films since I was 5. I continue to collect them. They drive my family mad. I have them spread out everywhere, cabinets up in the ceiling, pull down cabinets. I'm good at fitting stuff in small spaces. So yeah, I've squeezed them all around the place. I think VHS is popular now because of the nostalgia value. I think it holds good memories to people, and retro stuff is just quite popular, isn't it? Like, you know, cassettes, and you see mobile phone cases in the style of old Game Boys and stuff. I used to have a phone case which was a fake VHS. Which was a cool cover. That was I think it's popular because I think it's popular in the groups because it is just it's fun collecting. I know people like to go out and hunt down copies of films on VHS from stores or charity shops. So it's that sense, it's the thrill of the chase, it's the thrill of what can you find, what bargains can you get, and I find myself browsing on the auction, seeing what there is. And if I do walk past the shop and I see VHS, I will actually go and have a look, because it brings back memories, it's exciting, and you get that feeling going, oh, you found something exciting, and it's like a treasure hunt really. So there's a lot of and obviously I know that watching it on VHS with that quality can add, you know, some people enjoy that. I do as well. Like, if I'm in the right frame of mind or the right mood, it can be really cool seeing it in that gritty VHS style. It can add some of these grindhouse and exploitation films, they really do suit that style. So I just think it's just the love and passion of film. So when VHS moved over to DVD, when DVD kind of kicked VHS out, I wasn't that upset or concerned about it, because DVD was offering special features, a cool picture quality, and the fact that it was on disc and there wasn't a chance of it getting chewed up like a video, which used to it's happened to me a few times. I had a faulty player and it rips and tapes up and it was devastating. It ruined films, so DVD was a much more stable option, so I quite welcomed that in. I kept all my videos and I still bought videos, and I never get rid of anything. I'm a proper collector. I will get something and I will keep it. So but it was nice to upgrade, because what happened as well is when DVD come in, the censors in the UK, like the BBFC, have become more lenient as well, and so we were getting films that were once banned, and then we was also getting uncut versions of films that had crap edited VHS releases. So with DVD also came the films come back to the shores which they were once kicked off of. So that was also very exciting. So and extra features are a selling point to me. I love seeing interviews and documentaries and commentaries and all this stuff. You know, the more the better. So, and I think honestly, the film studios, especially the indie distributors, have realised that film collectors and lovers are really into something. They're like antique dealers, so they take more pride on their releases, and they actually like put these booklets in now, which you didn't really. I had the odd VHS with them, but it was rare this day and age. A lot of DVD and Blu-rays come with a nice little booklet with information. You get the slip cases and you get cool, crazy editions. I've got wooden box editions, big box sets, and video did it a bit, but not quite like DVD did when it came out. That you know, it really, I found it a very exciting time to be a film collector. I really was thrilled. You know, like short films on there, director's short films, that was massive to me, because I'd heard about these short films, wanted to see them. And there wasn't really any YouTube on that when I was a kid, so I couldn't really see these short films. But when DVD come out and they were putting like director's shorts on as extra features, that just blew me away. That was amazing. So I was very excited by that. So the move to digital, on-demand streaming VOD, I'm not so happy about that. As I said, I like to physically collect and have a product. I don't like having something in a cloud or streaming. I like the idea of Netflix. I like, a cheap service and I can watch stuff. But if I really like a film, I want to buy it and have it, not just pay for a file somewhere. I mean, because the VOD and streaming side still's not offering like these extra features, and you have to rely on an internet connection, and I think the quality might not be as good as a Blu-ray sometimes. I understand it, and I don't mind it being there. It's a nice option, and I have used the service, but I really don't want digital files to replace actual physical media. I think that would be a real shame. Unfortunately, I think it might be happening. It seems to be going more and more that way, but I really hope that there will always be the cult indie labels putting out fantastic releases like they do on Blu-ray and even DVD still, because I will back physical media all the way. I said digital is a nice option, and I love it when you get a film and it gives you a digital code so you can have a digital copy and you've got a disc copy. That's great. That's really handy, but definitely always want a proper copy of it. Digital is not the version I choose at the moment, for sure. But talking about actual filmmaking, shooting on I think digital is a great way of shooting now. The only worrying thing about it is obviously in case you lose your footage. When you shot on tape or reel or VHS or digital tape or any of these physical formats, you had it safe. There was always a copy of the rushes. I keep a copy of everything, but you have to keep it on drive. You have to make sure you don't erase the card without having it, and I have nearly lost the whole feature film through the rushes, nearly getting trashed, but it didn't. I managed to I had a backup, fortunately, and got it, but it was very close call, and it was very scary, and I've heard horror stories of that happening, but I don't really think shooting on film and stuff's ever going to come back. I think it is just going to be digital from now on, with post-production making it look like that, or people using apps on iPads or iPhones. But as I say, it costs too much money, and it's too much of an arse to piss about. It's just too much stress messing about trying to get it onto a digital editing timeline, or to get it onto a new format to get out there. So it's I think shooting on film is dead, but digital can look as good now. When digital first come out, it didn't have anything on film. I was like, film is the only way to shoot. I shot on film. Fortunately, I'm glad I was around to see these changes and shoot on these formats. I was able to shoot a 16mm film. I've shot Super 8 films. I've shot VHS movies. I've shot mini DV, HDV. I've gone through all kinds of formats. So I'm glad I've been able to do that. But I think technology's got quite good now that it looks better than film now. I mean, what you can do in post these days is pretty spectacular. So I don't think you lose what you want to achieve anymore. I think you did when digital first was trying to place film. I think there was definitely a quality issue to me, but that has slowly been rectified with newer technology. My favourite video nasty is Cannibal Holocaust, just because I think the film is a masterpiece. It blew me away. It's a really well made film. It makes a powerful point. It's an unforgettable film. It's too clever for its own good in some ways, but the message is still powerful to this day. And it's a message I strongly believe in. I mean, the real animals, the real horror of the world is just a human being. There's nothing scarier than humans being evil to one another, to me. So it's just a powerful film. It doesn't rely on supernatural horror. The real horror is man, and it makes such a strong point about society being so savage and so evil and cruel, and that's a message that will always be true. So it's a timeless classic to me. As I said, incredibly well put together, incredibly effective. It is a masterpiece to me. I have a lot of respect for the director of that movie, and it was a real inspiration. I saw it when I was 16, and it really inspired me, and it just fueled my passion for film and filmmaking, and I love how they use filmmaking as the subject in the film as well. It's a very clever film. I'd never get bored of it. And even when they cut it in the UK, when it came back out on DVD, it was still as effective. Doesn't matter if you cut that film. The film is that well made and that strong a message that even the various edits I've seen where they've tried to tame it down still did not stop it being a good film. I will say a special mention to Faces of Death. Faces of Death is probably one of the scariest films I've seen, because I am quite scared of dying and death, and Faces of Death is a very grim look. It's really kind of like, it gripped me. It was really like, Jesus, man. And I know half it's fake, and I know it can be, I know it's got its silly, cheesy moments, but there's a really dark undertone and a disturbing feel to that film. Again, it's actually quite well made. The music, the score to it is very unsettling, and just the way it's put together and edited is quite it's a menacing film, and it haunts me actually. I really like the film, but it's a very haunting film, and yeah, that will stay with me, that film, for a long time. VHS cover art, I like a lot of the Nasties cover art. I think I Spit on Your Grave is one of my highest loving. I think I Spit on Your Grave is a great piece of cover art. I love it. The iconic image of Carmel Keaton like walking. It's a really cool cover. It's quite a recognised cover. I mean, even with the remake, they did it again. When I made my film Tortured, I was influenced by I Spit on Your Grave, and I didn't have a say in the cover. I sent the film to the distributor, and amazingly they did a cover that represented I Spit on Your Grave. I made Tortured before the remake of I Spit on Your Grave, but by the time the distribution deal went through and the film came out, it actually came out at the same time as I Spit on Your Grave, so, like the remake version. So people probably thought I jumped on the bandwagon. I didn't actually know they was remaking I Spit on Your Grave when I started making my film Tortured. But it's just I'm really pleased they did the case representing that, because I do love I Spit on Your Grave. The cover art, it's one of the most memorable ones to me, and it's one of the best sold. You know, what you see is what you get with that cover and that case. So, you know, the image speaks a thousand words, as they say about the film. So it's cool. So I have here the VHS version of my feature SOV film Sick Bastard. This is actually the official first feature I ever made, and this is the VHS copy of it. What can I say, really? It's the first feature-length film I made. Everything I've made to this point had been short semi-features, but this is a full hour and 10 minutes, and I just had to have a VHS copy, because that's how much I do love VHS and have fond memories of it. I really did want a copy. More recent VHSs I've picked up is stuff like The Keep and Wicked City, the live-action version, mainly because this film is infamous for not having an actual disc release, official disc release as Boots. So this is an actual legit copy, because I do love getting legit copies. There is a DVD version which I have of this, which I've got fairly recently, which I finally managed to track down. But in this country, in the UK, this has never had a disc release, and I always wanted to. I love the animation. I love the manga anime version, and so I had to have the live edition. So another VHS I got a few years ago, which I tracked down, is Deep Space. I always wanted to see this film. I used to see the trailer as a kid all the time on VHSs that would get brought from the market. Basically, my granddad used to buy a lot of B movies from the market store. We used to go home, and this trailer always appeared, and it was a real dodgy Alien rip-off. It even had the Aliens music in the trailer, and I was obsessed. And I couldn't, you know, I was a kid, and I couldn't find this film for years. And you'd like search Deep Space, and it'd come up with Star Trek Deep Space Nine and that shit. So I managed to finally find a copy online, and it weren't that cheap. That set me back a little bit to get a VHS copy of that. My favourite video ever. Violent Shit 2, the English UK, the English subtitled version of Violent Shit 2, which I said I got this for less than £4. It's worth more than that, I'm sure. and I was dead excited to have this official Violent Shit VHS prized in my collection. So, as I said, I have a lot of videos boxed up, but I do keep my nasties around. I love my Italian cannibal and zombie films. So, you know, you've got like Cannibal Ferox, Cannibal Apocalypse. These are original presets that I've tracked down over the years. I said I used to buy them all the time. I've had to slow down because I spend money making my films and I buy a lot of Blu-rays, but I used to spend a hell of a lot of money buying presets, and I do have quite a lot of presets, and they're very, very cool. Cannibal, those two, great. You know, I just love my crazy exploitation grindhouse movies, so I've got a well dodgy version of Zombie Holocaust, an import. This didn't cost me that much. I was just basically collecting trash on VHS, so yeah, you know, this was a nice little addition. Some more video nasties. You know, you've got Human Experiments, Nightmare Maker, all original ones. So, favourite VHS cover of all time. Wow, come on. And I love some of these presets. I mean, these are mint condition. I'm very lucky to get these, really. This did set me back a bloody small fortune, but this is one of my favourite exploitation films ever. So powerful, so well made. I mean, I like using music and the score in my SOV films. I think using music well is important, but this film's so bloody well made. They didn't even have a soundtrack. Didn't need a soundtrack. I don't think you even realise you watch this film, but there's no soundtrack in this movie. It's there's some music in the trailer, but the actual film itself has no soundtrack, and it's so powerful. You're so engrossed in the film. It's a very captivating film. I'm sure most VHS collectors have this classic, The Bad Boy. The Burning, come on, amazing film. Real fun slasher. Crazy great gore in this. Love it. So, a few years ago, I managed to grab this on eBay at quite a good price, and I've got to admit, when this came through my door, I was so excited to open the parcel and to see this. It did bring back, there's this warm feeling of nostalgia again. But yeah, the House by the Cemetery original preset there, I love it. Really cool movie. I love my Gates of Hell trilogy and my Flucci films, so much so that obviously Zombie Flesh Eaters original release there. Got this at an alright price. I mean, it really varies. You really have to shop about. Sometimes I've got real bargains. Other times I've been a bit rinsed, but it's just because I really wanted the Video Nasty collection. So what's cool is this artwork kind of remained on most of the newer disc releases, but this is my favourite zombie movie of all time, Zombie Flesh Eaters, because I think it has a great atmosphere. It's got a topless diver fighting with a shark with a zombie involved. I mean, come on, how a shark versus a zombie with a naked damsel in distress swimming off. I mean, that's pure grindhouse exploitation at its best. That is. That's and eyeball scenes make me go, I have a phobia of my eyes being touched, and the eyeball splinter scene and that's amazing. Got a few more nasties here, pranks and extra. I love this film. Don't ride on late night trains, aka Late Night Train Murders. Bit of a Last House on the Left rip to me, this film, but amazing, outrageous stuff. I know that this is a bit of a looked upon classic, Dead and Buried. I found Unhinged a very fun watch, and again, I a lot of my films I have on VHS I do have on DVD and Blu-ray. I have both. I even have more than one DVD copy because of re-releases with new extras and stuff. But I am pleased I have VHS versions as well. I do like my VHS copies as well. So, The Living Dead, also known as The Living Dead at Manchester Morgue. Another great zombie film. I love this film that much that for my 30th birthday I went and visited the locations in the UK where they shot this film, and spent the night in a hotel nearby, and spent the 2 days going around the various locations and filming it, stuff, and taking lots of photos. So yeah, did a cool unofficial tour visit of the locations there. I found Don't Go in the House a very fun film. I didn't find this that cheesy. I found this quite a quite a dark and sinister movie. Definitely worth checking out if you've not seen it. I grew up with my mum loving horror books. My dad always filming home movies, holidays and Christmases on the family camcorder. And my granddad was a film collector. The combination kind of made me as a crazy, mad filmmaker who just loves movies. But because my mum had an interest in horror, she always loved the original Bogeyman, and always used to go on about it. So from her recommendation, I tracked it down, and this has been re-released now, obviously on Blu-ray and that. But I actually got this years ago on pre-sale. I mean, this is one of my earlier ones I tracked down, and yeah, it's a good film. I'd grown up hearing a lot about this and finally managed to see it. So on VHS, the VHS. Obviously, one of my favourite video nasties is The Evil Dead. I actually bought the trilogy on VHS when I was growing up. Got my parents to with my pocket money. But obviously, the original Evil Dead on VHS was re-released in the UK. So the 18 rated one was cut. This, which I've got, but I did actually track down a pre-cert version. So it's the full uncut version, which is the version to have, the uncut version. My favourite film of all time, Cannibal Holocaust. It is my favourite film of all time. I've spoke about this already, how amazing this film is, like, what a masterpiece, how well made it is. Amazing film. So I have a massive soft spot for Anthropophagus the Beast. I have a big Greek poster of this in my bedroom, much to my wife's she's not amused by that, but you know, I love George Eastman and Joe D'Amato, and my alias name I use for filmmaking when I've done some dodgy stuff is Joe Newton, which is a play on Joe D'Amato. Joe being Joe D'Amato, and the fact that his alias name when he directed Absurd was Peter Newton. So Newton, I combined his real name with his alias name to create my alias name. Bit of trivia there about my filmmaking. Obviously, Revenge of the Bogeyman and the original preset, not the new edit version that found its way to disc. This is the original version that actually didn't officially have a official release. That the release that came out was actually a different edit. So this is quite a rare and unique, good one to have. It goes well with my other Bogeyman video. A cool, fun one, Evil Speak. Again, it's quite a popular film, but a film that was hard to come by on pre-cert and cost me quite a bit. And you know, I don't really get scared of films. Also, it scared the shit out of me. But as I said, it haunts me and stays with me. Is Faces of Death. That certainly not for everyone. Definitely not for everyone. That's quite a morbid film. That, but if you've got the stomach for it, it's worth seeing. But be warned.